the Jeep. Come on, Doc.
What did this to my leg?
Easy CP. Easy CP. This is Bastogne. Sis has been hit, and I need a Jeep.
Oh,
I say it again. I need a Jeep now. They're moving, goddammit. We need it now. Be all right, sir.
Okay, sis, ain't that bad, ain't that bad.
Ain't that bad?
Extremely visceral and intense scenes such as this clearly show the lengths to which the producers of this miniseries went to in order to accurately portray the Battle of the Bulge from a soldier's perspective. Band of Brothers is a miniseries based on a book by the same name. The original novel, as well as the show, centers around some ordinary people being caught up in an extraordinary conflict as they follow the men of Easy Company who served as paratroopers in the legendary 101st Airborne Division, or the Screaming Eagles. Since the novel is essentially a compilation of first-hand accounts from the survivors, and the show was in the hands of producers like Tom Hanks, it is an understatement to say that the show is historically accurate. Our focus of the series is on Easy Company's hellish experience during the Battle of the Bulge, while they were encircled by German forces near the Belgian towns of Bastogne and Foy. Right off the bat, the show portrays how well it stands with history in terms of the battle. The setting of a snowy forest with an intense and anxious tone is akin to what it would be like to be in such a conflict. Even with props, everything is accurate from uniforms all the way down to weapons and basic equipment. The soldiers were portrayed in realistic attire, consisting of a wool overcoat, trousers, and helmet, while Roe had a Red Cross armband to minimize confusion amongst the men. As for weapons, the various types of firearms used in the film were indeed utilized during the actual war. The usage of M1 carbines, M1 Garins, and Thompson submachine guns all demonstrate the precision to which the show was made with an effort to give the audience an accurate depiction of World War II events. Furthermore, the desperate situation is emphasized just as it was in real life. Supplies were dangerously low, making engagements extremely intense and overwhelming.
Stay on my ass! Hold fast, second platoon! What are we doing, Lieutenant? Why are we stopped? Go back! Fall back!
Roger, kidnapped.
Paris,
Stand by for 6.
Lieutenant, what's the plan? I don't know! You better get Dyke on that radio to me now! Lieutenant, what's the plan?
Captain Winter,
What's the plan? Okay, Foley! Foley! You take your men on a flanking mission around the village and attack it from the rear! Mike, we cannot stay here! You understand?
to go around and attack the village by itself?
Despite this miniseries having a massive budget and being a near one-to-one adaptation of the Battle of the Bulge all the way down to even small events concerning the injuries of certain characters, there's one character known as Lieutenant Dyke, which is portrayed in a rather skewed manner. In the 2 episodes set in Belgium, Lieutenant Dyke is an officer with Easy Company and is shown in an extremely bad light, despite this not necessarily being the case 100% of the time. He's frequently shown not caring for his men, unlike the other officers, and is even shown suddenly leaving the line to take long walks in the forest to get away from the action. Another scene during an attack on the town of Foy shows him breaking down and panicking, forcing another officer to step into command, while his men die all around him.
Pressing fire! Pressing fire!
One man down! Easy!
Covering fire!
Although these events did happen, and Dyke is certainly a flawed man, the simple view of him being that cowardly does not line up with previous events. He was awarded a Bronze Star in 1944 for his efforts with the 101st Airborne Division as he guided a group of disbanded paratroopers to safety while under attack in Holland. And another Bronze Star was received by Dyke in Bastogne when he, quote, personally removed from an exposed position in full enemy view, retrieved 3 wounded members of his company, all while under intense small arms fire. There are even other non-verified accounts of soldiers on the ground that claimed he was shot in the arm at Foy, and that led to his panic rather than the actual situation. Either way, the show clearly over-dramatized the character of Lieutenant Dyke, and he deserves more credit than what is portrayed. Overall, this miniseries stands near the top in terms of historically accurate World War II films, and rightfully so. It tells the true story of real men who fought valiantly for our country in the greatest conflict ever known to man. It is only befitting for these veterans to know that their stories were portrayed as accurately as possible to an audience that spanned millions of Americans all across the country.